today's video, we are going to talk about Doordash sponsored ads and how they rock. Here is how to assure a great return out of the Doordash sponsored ads that you want to run on Doordash to get more restaurant customers, new customers basically, into your restaurant or your takeout or whatever you're doing. Okay, obviously if you do DoorDash, it's great in and itself. Fees aside, it's guaranteed income basically, right? Why? Because it has people that are, yes, looking to buy already, that's one thing, but it already has people who like the type of restaurants that you have, and they can just find you when they're looking for that. It's very similar to how Google works if you advertise on Google. If you're an Italian restaurant, obviously what you want to do is show up when somebody's looking for Italian restaurants and then the name of your city, which you, by the way, should do, by the way. But that said, most people that run restaurants they're not savvy marketers, just to put it bluntly. They don't understand the core concepts that if they did understand them, it'd blow their restaurant up, assuming they have a good product, because that, you're not going to, marketing will just drive a company into the ground with a poor product, essentially, especially in the restaurant industry. But if you have the good product and you're not doing heavy marketing for your business and you don't understand these concepts, you're just making your life less as good as what it could be. What I'm going to give you here is the main basic concepts you need to know to do well in your business and basically get as many customers as you want. For the most part, the best food, I will still say, will sell itself. You kind of can get customers through word of mouth, but that also takes a long time. You don't have to wait all that time. Just because you have a good product and you could actually spread through word of mouth alone, doesn't mean you should. It's actually dumb to do that. If you have a good product, you want people to know about it sooner so you can build up to that critical mass sooner. Anyway, with that said, the first thing you have to know to do the DoorDash sponsored ads and to get a return out of it every time is you got to know what your customer is worth. And it's not just restaurants that have this issue. I run a PPC agency. I ask all the time because I have to guarantee results for our clients. That's what we do at our agency up front. And in order to guarantee them something, we have to know what we're guaranteeing is going to actually make them money. And they got to know their numbers, so to say. If I ask them what is a customer worth in terms of their lifetime value, what are they going to be buying? Your average customer that comes in, what are they paying over time? What can you rely on coming in over the next 5 years that you're going to have that customer or whatnot? And if they can't tell me, they need to basically figure that out. Otherwise, you're going to get into what you're doing, just like with this, and you're going to say, I wonder if this is worth it. Or even worse, you're going to have a bad day, some customer's going to piss you off or whatnot, wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and say, see your sales are down a little bit, oh, fuck this DoorDash sponsored ad bullshit, and you're done. And if it was making you money, now you just screwed yourself over. Don't put yourself in that position. You're going to have to be forced at some point in time, more than likely, to figure out if this is making money for you. Do that work ahead of time. Don't do it after you've wasted a whole bunch of money and potentially wasted money for years working for free to get the customers through the sponsored ads when you didn't need to. The best way to figure this out is through simple customer surveys. You come in, you have the cashier lady ask the people that you have coming in the door physically, how long have you been coming here? Do you know about how many times you've been here? And then you start writing it down. That's really all it comes down to. You do that for at least 100 customers, and then you just put it into a spreadsheet. Yes, people aren't exactly knowing how many times they came in, but they can ballpark it. And that ballparking is good enough. When you take the ballpark numbers over a great enough amount of people, you basically have a general feel of what the average person does when they come in. Of course, there's going to be people that get to the register and say, this food sucked, I'm not coming in. I'm not coming in again. And they'll write that down. Ultimately, you come down to a number of revenue, amount of revenue that you can, on a whole, yes, this is where people get it basically pisses me off because people say to me all the time, "But I don't know what a customer is worth. Sometimes they come in once. Sometimes they come in 1,000 times." You can't possibly judge that. You average it out. You have to know what your numbers are to run your business and to run marketing campaigns that will pay for themselves. There's no other way to do it. You could try, of course, you could do marketing and then hope your bank account goes up and you may get lucky. Don't rely on getting lucky. You average it out. The average restaurant, mid-range restaurant, you should have a customer lifetime value, i.e. what they're going to spend over time with you once you get any customer, whether they stay 1 day or 1,000 days or eat with you 1,000 times, should be over $100. And if you can get that, then the DoorDash sponsored ads will pay for itself and then some. So like I said before, it isn't going to make a shitty product work, but if you have a great product, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. Once you know that, because the great thing about the DoorDash sponsored ads is it's going to tell you exactly how many people saw the ad, clicked through, and bought, and what the cost of each customer come in was. Then of course from there you can look at all your product cost, your labor cost, and see what kind of, in terms of percentage of marketing spend you could spend to get a customer, and then you're all set. You know if your ads are working or not and whether to pursue them or not. So $1,000 thrown at the DoorDash sponsored ads real quick to see if this works, you're making a small bet to have a potentially long-term return, which is what you always want to try to do in business. Most restaurants, if they could spend somewhere between 5 and 10% of their total revenue on advertising, they would do it because that's suitable, basically. It's good enough. So if your customer value on average is $100 in the survey that you do, you obviously know you can pay $5 to $7 or $5 to $10, whatever, on a customer. And then when you run your DoorDash sponsored ads, you either get the $5 to $10 customer cost per customer transaction cost, or you don't. And if you don't, you shut it off. And if you do, you keep letting it run. That's really all this comes down to. It's that simple. It can be that simple. If you actually don't, like most people are, they're like, I'm excited to get started with this. I don't need to know anything. I'll just turn on my ads. And then 6 months later, they say, "Is this working? I don't know if this is working or not. I have to make payroll this week." Done. Shut it off. And it was working. That's the 90% of people who are going to try this. That's what's going to happen and what they're going to do. The people that make it work are going to know their numbers, and they're not going to be doing stuff from the seat of their pants. So that said, I don't recommend paying to market to your existing customers on DoorDash sponsored ads, as DoorDash is going to promote you to them anyway. Their algorithm's already set up that if somebody's done business with you through the app, okay, they're going to, of course, show that you're going to be at the top of the list the next time they come order. Try it out for yourself. And obviously, that's how it works. If I ate at your restaurant before, your Mexican restaurant, and I'm looking for Mexican food on the app, and ultimately, your restaurant's going to pop up first in the search results. That's how the algorithm works. So why pay to get that customer again? You would have already got them anyway. This kind of conflicts with my typical advice I give on this channel about marketing to past customers and all that, because marketing to your past customers, usually you want to do that to expand that lifetime value of a customer. Make sure you're locking them in at a higher rate. But in this particular case, the algorithm already does it, so you're just basically throwing your money away. Use this to go after new customers, which they let you do. You can go after new and old customers only, new customers only. You want to do new customers only, and what you'll basically find is that what they call ROAS, or return on account spend, which is essentially sales revenue divided by your ad spent on the DoorDash sponsored ads. That percentage, if you're going after new customers, will probably be about 100 to 200%. Now, if you're an emotional wreck, you're going to look at that number and be like, "Holy shit, I can't afford this, cancel." Or if you're going to be the 10% of people that really bank on this, potentially millions of dollars of worth of profit long term, depending on how many restaurants you have, whatever, then you're going to unemotionally break this down and see if it's mathematically worth it or not. If you know a customer's worth $100, this front end ROAS number of how much you made on that customer based upon how much ad spend it took to get that customer is irrelevant, because you know they're going to come in on average of 5 more times, spending not just $20 but $100, and that $100 that it cost, we'll take that return on account spend number from 150 to 900%, and now you're set up well. It's good enough, essentially. Obviously, the amount of profit margin and the amount of money that you're willing to spend on a customer to get it is going to vary based upon what your tastes are, but this is how you are going to get into it, because if you just look at the return on account spend, return on investment that it says you're getting going after new customers, given they're not going to value what the customer's worth over the long run, it's not going to show you that you're spending 5% of that transaction cost to get that customer. Why? Because the platform's too competitive. If you could get a new customer for 50 cents, don't you think your competitors would already be doing this? Yes, when the platform's brand new, the opportunity's brand new, you can do that. Once everybody figures out about it, the person who's willing to spend the most for the customers, get it. And guess who can spend the most for the customers? You, because you're not being emotional about it, not being emotional. You're not thinking shallow about this. You understand what a customer is worth, and you understand that you could pay $6 for a customer, not 60 cents for a customer, because that customer is worth a hell of a lot more than their first purchase. DoorDash sponsored ads are great. I say they rock, because where else, like I said, are you going to advertise where these people are ready to buy immediately and they're looking for a niche restaurant like you have? Google doesn't even provide that, because on Google you're assuming that they're going to come in after making that search. Where on the DoorDash app, they're going to buy. It's just a matter of who. You want to be, this is the most relevant place to advertise your restaurant. So, and then with that said, before I wrap this video up, I want to also give you a tip and that is to say, do not rely on promotions to get people through the door, because DoorDash has the promotions you can give free XY free side or whatever to get them in the door or whatever. Don't do that crap. Why? Because people who like discounts are shitty customers. Even in our own advertising firm, if somebody comes in and says to me, Corey, can you just charge us less? I'll be a grateful long-term customer. Guess what I'm going to do? No, not going to do it. Why? Just because the mere fact that they asked for that discount, I know they're in the category of person who's going to be a shitty client. Sorry if that offends anybody watching this. This is just how it is. The facts don't lie. I've seen the people that ask for discounts versus the ones that don't. Totally two different categories of people. I don't care if I would still make money. If you ask for a discount, I'm not working with you, because the second, third, fourth month into it, you're going to complain about this and this and this and this and this. When it's small stuff, small potatoes in the grand scheme of things, and I don't want to deal with it. This applies though to every business. Customers that want a discount as a whole are pretty shitty. Unless you're like running a grocery store, basically, where people are used to, they're going to come to the grocery store no matter what. And there's not a lot to go wrong. Sure, discount could be fine, but you don't want customers coming into your restaurant that not only, the bigger thing is that if it took a discount to get them there, they're not going to stay around, because you're not offering them a discount the second time, or you're going to have to offer them a discount every time. If you look into like the deal a day sites, the reason why those failed is because people found out the hard way that if you actually give a discount to somebody, even though you'll get 100 customers, none of those customers come back, because they're just looking for a deal wherever they can get one. And as soon as you don't offer them a deal, they're going to somebody else that is. So it doesn't work anyway. But on top of that, even if the person did come back, that person's more statistically likely to complain about what they get, or just be high maintenance in general. Why build your entire base of your business on shit customers when you don't have to? Go after customers who want quality, not cheap, or your life will be hell. So anyway, instead of doing the promotions, which everybody's going to kind of try to do because it seems cheap, There's no cost. There's no ad spend cost. Spend the damn ad spend to get the customers you want, which are going to spend a lot, come back because they like quality, refer you to more quality people, and put yourself on a whole different trajectory in your business than what you could have otherwise. Take it from me. So anyway, we've done this with a couple of different clients that had restaurants that came to me. Any restaurant that comes to my firm now, I recommend this product to them, the DoorDash sponsored ads. I would recommend it to you as well. You just obviously have to know these core concepts going in, otherwise you're going to get into it and say, oh, that Corey's a liar. This doesn't make any money, so I have to explain this. This is like I have to explain it to most people coming in. This isn't this isn't a default way of thinking about things, but that's what I can and should tell you. And then going back to what I said before about judging the ROI, the lifetime value thing and calculating that, I mentioned that's how you should do it. Even if you don't do that, what you can do instead is you can start your campaign, chart your sales out for 12 months for the last 3 years in a spreadsheet, and then throw $50 a day at DoorDash sponsored ads. Do it for 6 months straight, okay, or 3 months if you don't want to be so rambunctious. And then after the 3 months, see if your total receipts have grown year over year. Because in the restaurant business, it's highly seasonal still, or seasonal to some regard. And what you'll want to see is this May, this June, this July, you had 20%, 30%, 40% more gross receipts than you had the previous May, June, and July. And the previous May, June, July before that, and the previous May, June, July before that. And adjusting for any growth in sales you would have had otherwise, you can normalize that out and see if turning the DoorDash sponsored ads on actually helped out grow your top line revenue. And then if you do that, guess what you can do? You can take the top line revenue difference that you got year over year, subtract that from what you spent on the ads, and then you got your gross ROI, or gross profit if you will, of how much profit you got ultimately. And then more importantly, like what percentage of your sales growth did you have to spend to get the customers in the door, and if it's below 10%, your money. So that's another way to track your ROI. And another thing to mention, I know I keep saying that this is the last thing, but the other thing is, like all online ads on Facebook, Google, wherever you're going to advertise, most of the sites that have ad programs now, they're algorithmically driven, and they're not going to get you the best return right away. So just because you think that it's not working right away, people want instant results. Business owners want instant results. They want it when they turn an ad on, it's raining money right away. If it were that easy, the competition would have already been doing it. Sorry, this is reality today. So with that said, don't be so closed-minded about it. Know that the first month is going to suck in terms of your ROI, what you see inside your account physically. The second month is going to be a little bit better. Third month is going to be a little bit better. Fourth month is going to be a little bit better. And it might take you 3, 4, 5, 6 months to hit the 200% ROAS that you should kind of want to see on the front end in terms of your return on investment from your ads in your account. So the longer you run it, steadily, not having your ads shut down and turn on, you got to keep it steady. This is a big thing that people do that screw up the results on other platforms. Invest what you can afford to lose, so even if it doesn't work right away, you're not screwed, you keep it going, and just let it ride and see what happens to your sales growth. Is it improving? You don't have the return you want yet, but the sales are improving month over month. You know eventually, if you chart it out long enough, you're going to get the results that you want. So just stick with it. Because when it works, you can use it for the next 5 years. The money you spend to get it profitable, so to say, for the first 3 to 6 months, you're going to make that back every single month for the next 5 years. So why the hell, Bob, why worry about that? This is the mindset you have to make ads work. It's not an instant money machine. It's not how it works at all. Not today anyway. So that's another tip that you have to know going into this, which applies to other online marketing that you're going to do that. And then, of course, if you do DoorDash sponsored ads and this works, You can do it on other platforms that accept, like Grubhub. You can also run ads on Google, like I was talking about, where people are looking for restaurants like yours. And potentially just drive them to a little landing page where they can order online or whatnot, or just come in. And that's a really great opportunity for restaurants as well. But I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate you giving it a like and consider subscribing, because I have a ton of other content on this channel about how to make money with online ads. Stuff that comes directly from the owner of an ad agency, so it's real stuff. Furthermore, if you like my channel, you can find my blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog, which has content from myself as well as my column that I have over at entrepreneur.com. As a side, if you have any questions about anything I shared today, leave a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. So, if you are looking for somebody to run your ad program, you can reach out to me at my agency. We do not charge fees until we get you a certain minimum amount of results on your campaigns. If you are looking not for an ad agency, but you want to get results quickly without as much work or time put into it and investment, we sell ad templates that work for certain industries. We've worked in over 100 markets at this time. If we worked in your market before, instead of working with us, you could just take the ads, landing pages, and everything that worked for your market and just copy and paste them into your account. We sell these for a one-time fee. We can tell you what results you would get with it up front, which these are great for just starting another side business, by the way. If you want to start a side business, start with our ad templates that work for that industry. We've got several people doing this already, which is why I'm expanding this program and mentioning it on this channel. So whether it's for your industry or something else you want to start, you can start stuff on the side, outsource the delivery of a product or service there, or whatnot, and have a nice passive income business going. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me as well. I'll let you know what we got. But with that, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.